Hey guys, this is wersderf, and today I have a new video for you. Right, showing on the screen right now is a game of me and my friend Grumpy playing in our IS-8s, and I thought it was interesting because at the very end we go up against a lot of tanks. I think it's like 2-on-6, and even though we are top tier, it was a challenge for us because 1-on-6 is or 2-on-6 is a pretty big odds for just two tanks to play against. Even though that these tanks are very good in certain situations, I thought it would be interesting to dissect exactly what I was thinking and point out mistakes that we might have made. So at the beginning of the battle, not much happens. A lot of the tanks go south, as you can see on the mini map, and we do end up losing this match. Like I said, we went up against like 6 or 7 tanks, and we killed 4 of them and almost killed another, despite the situation. And this German TD right here is pretty much the only thing we're gonna run across until we get closer towards their base. So just right there, I was side scraping, and I don't know exactly where the shot hit. It might have hit my turret, but it also might have just bounced right off the side. So even though this tank isn't the best side scraper, I think in this situation it was the best strategy. And right now, my friend Grumpy is pushing up because the Panzer is staying back. He doesn't want to expose himself. So even though he does have great gun depression, that was the time to move up. And since Grumpy moved up, I'm not so far behind. And what I believe what happens is that the Panzer runs because he has 2 tier 8 or yeah tier 9 heavy tanks coming at him. And if I was in his situation, I would run too, because he has no armor and he can get killed in 2 shots from us. So we pretty much stroll right into their base, and unfortunately the enemy team is prepared for that. They already started sending tanks back to their base to try and stop our advance. You can see that the middle is completely open, and all the tanks in the south are about to be... Sorry, my dog, someone's at the door. Anyways, our team is pretty much screwed, and we haven't really gotten a chance to do anything. And there we go, we kill the Panzer as he tries to run away. He's 2 shot. And when we roll up the base... one of our worst fears appears, and luckily I take a shot in the track from the T95. And what JD or Grumpy is doing is he goes up on the hill, so we kind of get a sort of flank on this T95. Unfortunately for him, he takes a shot from the T95, but really the most consistent place to shoot this T95 is in the commander's hatch, and that's exactly what me and Grumpy are doing. And an object appears, and luckily, let's pause it for a second. So that object just appeared, and right now it was luckily he missed his shot on me. But right now the priority is this T95, and if we skip it back a couple seconds, we can see that part of their defense force was this ELC AMX right here, and he made a great move of, instead of hanging out around these tanks where me or Grumpy could have just one-shotted him, he flanks around to my flank and Grumpy's flank, and you'll see in a second he just starts going to town on me. Even though I'm on full health, he does a massive amount of damage to me by that time our little battle is over. So anyways, the object shows up. He just fired, so he is not a logical target, and we need to take care of this T95 before he gets in a better position to defend himself. So the ELC shows up, and he takes my flank, and in just a moment I'm going to get the last shot on the T95. So now the ELC is behind me, and I just bounced another shot. Also, what I'm doing right now is that there's a little hill right where I'm on right now, and if I back up to the enemies, pretty much the only thing showing is my turret, and since it's extremely strong turret, it just bounces shells. So what I'm doing is rolling up, taking a shot, and then going back down. As you can see in just a moment, my next target is the object, and I start taking shots from the ELC there. And he's not really a priority at the moment. And unfortunately, one of my first blunders of this little encounter, and of course the object misses his second shot on me, is that when the T-95 first appeared, he shot and tracked me. And my mistake was to immediately fix my tracks, even though he had just shot and I would have been able to repair my tracks in time. And at that moment, I didn't know if there were other tanks. Now I know it probably would have been bad for me if I had stayed there, because the T-54 would have showed up in the object and they would have just tore me apart while I was tracked and maybe keep me tracked. So at that moment, it was a good idea, but in retrospect, I might have had enough time to repair those tracks so I could save the repair kit for when the ELC ammo racks me in a moment. So the object has missed 2 shots on me, and I'm still full health, and finishing him off is no big deal. I caught him reloading, and Grumpy is still sitting up there. Just took care of the Artie. He's at 50%, and this ELC is being a real bugger, and there we go, just ammo racked me. And when I try and kill the ELC, I track him. Up until this point, I've been pretty lucky in just getting all those shots in the T-95 was pretty lucky. So I'm ammo racked, and Grumpy is almost dead out in the open when this patent shows up. He's pretty much done, and my ammo rack is damaged, so I don't have much I can do. So I'm going to try and finish off this T-54, but unfortunately he doesn't give me a shot. If I had taken that shot, I most likely would have just damaged his track and done any damage. So the last thing I can do is put a shot into that patent, but unfortunately we lose that little battle. And but I believe we did a pretty good job. So all in all, the positives. Me and my platoon mate were able to focus fire and take down some very dangerous targets with minimal damage, even though he might disagree since he died first. We were able to take care of those targets without taking much damage. I was able to use the terrain to my advantage and the strengths of my tank, where peekabooing and then going back into cover. Negatives. I repaired my track right away. That was not a good idea. We might have been able to win this little engagement if I had saved my repair kit for my ammo rack. I probably would have been able to take care of that ELC or the T-54. And the ELC got behind me and I think he put 5 or 6 shots into me, with one of them damaging my ammo rack. So that's really unfortunate. And just getting unlucky, that's not really a negative, because there was a lot of luck involved with the positive things. But I think that if I had alleviated some of the negatives in this, then we might have been able to succeed in our little one flank and maybe the game. But that's how the cookie crumbles, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoy looking at my own gameplays and figuring out exactly what's going on and critiquing it, because it really helps me be a better player. aside from correcting myself and realizing that I make mistakes while I'm playing, looking back at it really helps. And also, yeah, it's interesting to look back at the other games. So I might do this with other decisive games or even really good games, and I could say what went well and that why it went well. Obviously, this whole game was a disaster because my whole our team completely flopped. We got 4 kills over here, so that means there was maybe like 4 or 5 unanswered kills on the other flanks, and that might have been our team's fault, or it might have been the enemy team being just a little bit more strategic. Anyways, I'll probably be doing more of these videos because it's a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed. Peace, love, and joy.